There was a little bit of red energy in between, though, the sun and the rose. So I'll just see what that is all about. Well, the word abundance came up, and that's a good word. You know, when I see some energy in between the rose and the sun, to me it's either one of two things, either giving some energy to source to take and transpose into pure energy. So it's like, can you please take this, sometimes it's suffering or suffering of some kind, or something where you need some help, a healing project of some type. And so it shows up in between that energy will be there between the rose and the sun. Or the opposite is where you've been praying for something and it shows up in the reading to say, yes, your prayers have been answered. We heard you. It hasn't come in all the way into your system yet, your spiritual system, nor your body. But it's, when I was kidding saying, the cavalry, it's kind of like, it's like help is on the way. There's lots of help coming to you. And it's really significant that it's red. Just like the next growth period, right? That's already showing up in the big rose. Oh. That rose really, just as I'm reading you, the rose is really doing some good cleaning of the other petals. It's like, I didn't notice that. It's like, like, get out. Yeah, and of course, sense of humor is so key for you. And that's another part. I'm saying that in this giant growth period, you haven't had as much chance to have the kind of wonderful sense of humor that you have, where it's always been there, and it did always come out, but not nearly as much as you like. Looks good.
Yeah.
So is there any question, Lorna, that you'd like to, or comment about your rose that you'd like to make now before we go to the past lives? You don't have to. If it comes up, that would be great.
No, I think I'm okay. Yeah.
Huh.
It sounds, it's very validating to have somebody see you in a way that you hope that you see yourself.
Right. I know. We're so mean to ourselves.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
It feels exciting, and then just the information that you've given is very validating for, it has been about 2 years of huge growth and healing opportunities and opportunities for change. So to hear that come back to hear that be validated by somebody else makes my whole body, like just all of me, feel calmer. Yes, this has been happening, and yes, you're still in progress, and there are new things on the horizon. It's just a comfort. Oh,
that's great. That's really great. Yeah, you certainly are an amazing person. It is quite, it's been quite the growth period. I'm sure you create big growth periods anyway. That's how I see it. But maybe not. This one is just had a particular deep sense in it of not having to heal others. I think that's sort of the what is that called? The linchpin of everything in this time.
Yeah, it's not being responsible for other people.
Yeah. Right. And people are usually quite glad for us to take it. And then they get annoyed because it isn't good enough. So it's the bane of the healer. So I think we'll take time to take another short break. And then when we come back, we can look at the past lives. That will be so great, actually.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we do have a short commercial break coming up. So if you wish to contact me for a reading, you can do so by visiting my website, www.readingswithvirginia.com.
Male or female, we all age and would love to look and feel our best. There are ways to sharpen our brains and smooth our skin. Nerium International, through True Botanicals' real science and proven results, have created a holistic line of anti-aging products for skin, body, and mind, holistically reversing and preventing the aging process. For a free sample, go to wellness.nerium.com and call and text Stephen at 1-604-603-5477.
What if everything that you've been taught about who you are and what life is has been untrue? Join Deborah Laval, host of Living in Quantum Love, where she'll explore and dissect the limiting beliefs and wrong understandings that have only served to keep us not only separate from one another, but from our own selves. Living in Quantum Love can be heard every Thursday at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on the Dream Vision 7 radio network. Join Deborah and take a leap to freedom.
If the challenges of these times we're in are weighing on you and you feel disillusioned and not supported even after years of personal growth work and spiritual practices, then working privately with spiritual coach Deborah Laval will give you the insights, perspectives, and tools to navigate through the challenges. So to become more grounded in the love that you already are, write to Deborah at info@deboralaval.com. Are you suffering with pain? Do you have concerns about your bones? Or are you trying to slow down the aging process? Then listen up. Dr. Oz said this is the future of medicine. Pulsed electromagnetic frequencies. To find out more about a natural way to help the body heal itself, contact JP at 604-603-5477 or go to Deborah Laval's homepage and click on the link to his website.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
So, we're back. So, we're going to look at 2 past lives. And the way I focus in on one of what the lives are that we'll look at today. The past lives show up as little gold rings on the stem of the rose, and they just automatically show up, and they mark. It's a way for me to go into the reading of the past lives. So I'll just tell you where those 2 rings are at this point, Lorna. The first one is about a third of the way down the stem, and the second one is close to about 2/3 of the way down the stem. Generally speaking, it's going back in time when wherever the marks are, the gold rings are, marking the place. And so when I'm going to look at the first gold ring, the one that's a third of the way down the stem. And I get a symbol for that life, a little bit about who you are, and then most importantly, why did that life pop up today? So let's see. So that first ring. The symbol that came up was an anvil. Yeah, it looks like it's not that long ago, but it was in the 1800s in New Mexico. You're in a male body in that life, and you were a blacksmith, hence the anvil. Okay. Yeah. So I'm seeing that you were, that like the blacksmith was such an integral part of the whole community. And I'm seeing that life that was most certainly the case. It also looks like it was in a place where there was a lot of crossroads. So there was like the regular community, and then there were the people coming in and out who were traveling, and everybody had to go see the blacksmith at some point or another. So you were extremely busy all the time, which you liked. Because I'm seeing you were very, very physically very strong, and but very quiet and uncomfortable in social situations. And you didn't get married in that life. And you just worked and worked and worked and worked and worked all the time. And you were appreciated by the community and by the people who were traveling. Really were so happy to know you and to have you working there. And they relied so heavily on you. But I'm seeing that, especially as you were sort of getting a little bit older in your life, you felt something inside, like you wished that you could have a family life. You just didn't have a family life. And it looks like when you're from your birth family, looks like something happened there where you were kind of raised by aunts and an aunt and an uncle, rather than your parents. Some mishap happened, and it was, I see. That's why your heart felt so closed in that, because you're just a wonderful, big-hearted guy in that life, but because you lost your parents so young, you had your heart all sewn up and all wrapped up, and you just didn't want to feel that again. You didn't want to feel the loss of love, but at this certain point that I'm seeing you show up in the reading, it's like at a certain point you're just, I want to experience love again. I want to risk it. But, that was hard because you didn't really have friends per se. You had a lot of nice people that you knew, clients that you kept to yourself. And so I'm just seeing you be at a, where you're working and you're thinking, what can I do about this? Or is it too late for me? And I'm just seeing a sort of, you were like, I'm not a praying man, but I'm going to pray and see. And it looks like that actually, I guess what you'd call it, it felt like a miracle to you, because that you did meet somebody and get married. Even though you were a bit older, people marry much younger then. But, it was. So let's see why that one came up, or what was really going on there. Well, your heart is really open, but I'm seeing that in that life it is encouraging you. It's like you got a lot of that one time in that past life where you really opened up your heart, and actually kind of it worked. You met somebody who was kind and loyal and loving. It's about the prayers being answered and keeping things simple, and it's never too late. It's never too late for anything, and I've seen that it was so strong in that lifetime that's what was the most important thing that came out of it, and I'm just seeing you bringing it up to remind yourself about, it looks like there's some things that you feel like, there's situations, or because of your age or something like that, you might be judging things or not